Alright, so we're back over here at the table. I've already serviced this one right here. And what I mean by service is, what we're gonna do is do a little brake service on these on the brake pads. Now, you got plenty of pad on both of these right here. And what I'm gonna do, basically clean them off. I'm gonna apply some of this BG Stop Squeal. This is part number 860. It's available at the dealership. Probably get it at bg.com or something like that. But what this does is, by applying it to the pad and letting it dry, it absorbs the heat. Because whenever you're pressing on the brake pedal, the brake pads are contacting the rotors, and it's causing friction, which creates heat. That heat is transferred to the rotor and the pad, and it, you know, you can get glazing, or excessive heat can cause glazing. So you get hot spots in your rotors if you're doing this a lot and frequently. That's how you create glazing on your rotors. And if your rotors do get glazed, you can't machine them. You're just gonna have to buy new rotors. They're non-serviceable. This prevents that from happening. This right here absorbs the heat. So what you do, look at these right here. If you look at these pads, if you can look at the light, I'm not sure if you can see it, but where the light contacts it, if you see the shiny area, they're really shiny. That's the glaze or the heat. So what you can do is just get 80 grit sandpaper, and you can still see it right here. It's a little shiny area right here, and you want to take that shine off. You want to get that glazing off. And I mean, those shiny areas, that can cause squealing and brake noise, and that's the root or cause of a lot of customer concern and complaints. Sometimes customers come in and they'll say, "Hey, my brakes are squealing. Can you check them out?" And the pads are, you know, like brand new. So I mean, but it causes concern, you know. Like, I just put brand new pads on my car, you know. They're fucking squealing. You know what I'm saying? What's going on? It sounds like my damn brake pads are going. So that's why you do something like this right here.
Good, dude, you alright?
What's up, dude?
What you doing that day?
Just doing a little brake service.
Oh, some brakes. Okay. Hello, ma'am.
Hi.
Oh, this is Dwayne right here. Dwayne Patterson. Dwayne, this is my fiance, Shonda.
Hey, Shonda, how you doing?
How are you?
I'm doing just wonderful.
Nice to meet you.
Good man here.
Take
When
care
he's
of.
sleeping.
Take care of.
I'll take your word for it.
Good man when he's sleeping.
Exactly.
Alright, so you just got done sanding it down, and what you have here now is nice dull pads. They're not shiny. You want to take that shine out. You want to get that glaze off of them. So now they're nice and dull. Clean them off, get all the dust off. Get your Stop Squeal. Come over here and just apply it like this right here. Take it, a couple dabs, around, couple dabs, just around. Go to the other pad, couple dabs. Just put a couple drops on there. Alright, this is very volatile, evaporates, so make sure you put the cap on and don't inhale it. It's kind of like paint. It smells like paint. Take it like this and just take your pads and rub them together, coat the entire surface, and all you want to do is just put a light coat on there. Just get it nice and even. Alright, now you see it's nice and black like this right here. Put them down. Let them sit there, let them dry. While you're doing that, you want to get your caliper, grease, lube, whatever. And take the caliper bolts out and just put a little bit on there. Just Take them back down into caliper slots. All right. The reason why you want to let this dry is you don't want it to touch the rotors when it's wet. So I've already done this side right here, and you can see when you're done, the pads are like a gray color instead of being black. They'll be like this gray dull color right here. And this is the coating after it's dried and hardened, and it absorbs heat. So in effect, it reduces squealing. Alright, so move the caliper bolts. Next thing you want to do, you just take a little bit right here on the ends. You don't really necessarily have to do this. This can also reduce noise, but grease attracts or builds up dust. So instead of letting the air blow the dust out from brake dust, then sometimes it'll, kind of get trapped in there. But this is contacting the metal surface, and everybody does it their own way. Everybody's got their own way of doing it. So you can apply a little grease if you want. You don't have to. Nobody's gonna make you do it. But I tend to put a little bit on there. So, all right. So that right there is driver's side. This is the passenger side. This is the side that's dry. You want to just let that dry for about 5 minutes. That's all it takes. All right. So let's go back over here to the car. We got a rotor that we just resurfaced right here. What I'm gonna do is spray it down with a little brake parts cleaner. Hold your breath, don't bleed that shit in. Spin it over. Put this side down. Alright. These are 2 caliper bracket bolts. And it's gonna go in here like this. Make sure this is on there. You can or cannot put the rotor bolt back in. I don't recommend doing it. I usually don't put them in there. Usually they're more of a pain to get out. And really, when you put the lugs on the wheels, they're gonna hold the rotor down anyway. So it's kind of redundant to have it in there. Usually they get rusted up and they're a bitch getting out of there, so I really don't recommend putting them back in there. Alright, so you got the 18 millimeter. We're going to tighten these down. These little pads while I'm doing this. Alright. So what we're going to do, 19. Slide that on there. Press these caliper bolts in. Get them on there. These are 19 millimeters. Gonna slap that on there. Now I didn't hit them down really hard because a lot of times it's not hard to break caliper bolts, so be careful when you're doing this shit. Alright, right side left it loosely. Let's go over here to make sure it's kind of tight. When it stops moving, it's tight. It's tight enough. Torque specs on this are like 35 foot-pounds, which is not a lot. So you ain't gotta kill it. You ain't gotta kill it. Got that side done. Straighten this side right here. Here's the brake clean. Oh yeah. Alright, so this side is done. So I'll go ahead and put the wheel back on this side. Alright, we're going to jump to the next side, check on our rotors, and basically that kind of wraps this up. So I showed you how to do the wheel hub, machine the rotors, and also service the brakes. So in effect, it should reduce or prevent any type of brake squeal. So sometimes you might have squealing brakes, just put brand new pads on. The reason that you're getting squealing brakes, that you have brake squeal, is often because either you bought the cheap brake pads, you know, not the gold ones, you got the silver or whatever, the cheap ones. You kind of get what you pay for. If you get the cheap brake pads, you're going to get brake squeal most of the time. Now, if you do get the cheap pads, what you can do is put the BG stop squeal on there. That will help. Also, if you have rotors that are uneven, that are heavily grooved, you're going to get brake noise and brake squeal also. Sometimes what you can do is take just some brake clean and take the wheels off, and just spray it down in here, spray the brake pads, and just spin your brake, spin the wheels, spin the rotor around while you shoot some of this brake clean in there. And you might have like some dust or rock or some sand stuck in between the pad and the rotor, and that will cause noise also. So these are just a couple of tips to help you out, you know, to prevent brake squeal, you know, having kind of brake issues or anything like that. So hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.